Happy Valentine's Day. It seems fitting, like we're talking about the heart this month, and I'm here talking to you on Valentine's Day. So I hope if you are in a relationship that celebrates Valentine's Day, that you get spoiled, and if you're not, like me, you have a great day anyway. Quick question. Do you know what day you are in your menstrual cycle? Because you should know, because it will help you with your heart rate zone training. So if you're not already tracking, Wild AI, Fitter Woman, and Clue are my favorites, but there are quite a few trackers out there. And this is useful because your resting heart rate will be significantly higher during your ovulatory phase, so the middle of your cycle, and in the luteal part of your phase, which is the second 2 weeks-ish. So that means it follows that in your menstrual phase, which is when you're bleeding, and in your follicular phase, the first 2 weeks-ish, your heart rate will be lower. There's also a rise in your basal body temperature in the second half, well, assuming you have a regular healthy cycle, you'll have a temperature increase in the second half. And if you're stressed, your heart rate will be higher no matter what anyway, because we discussed last week that women respond differently to stress. So in studies on athletes' performance through the cycle, they actually found no difference, no change in VO2 max, which is your ability to use oxygen at your best. But several other studies have found that there is a higher cardiovascular strain during moderate exercise in the luteal or mid-luteal phase, so your second 2 weeks. There's also a shorter time to exhaustion in your luteal phase in high temperatures. So there is possibly a negative effect of heat and high heart rate training in the mid-luteal phase, which is the luteal phase, those last 2 weeks-ish of your cycle. Now, this means that we can, any good heart rate zone training program will have periods of rest and restoration. So we can take advantages of these highs and lows to cycle our training and to make ourselves more successful at what we're doing. So if in your luteal phase, your heart rate is naturally higher, your body temperature is naturally higher, then you don't need to go as hard to get a cardiovascular benefit. You're already straining that system, right? So here's the summary, and then I'll give you a little demonstration. If you're in the sort of menstrual, so if you're bleeding, or in the follicular phase, you can hit those yellow and red zones. You go hard, you go heavy, you go fast, but you do short time. Once you hit ovulation, you might bring it down to your, green and yellow zones and go a bit longer. And then in the luteal and sort of premenstrual phase, you might stick around the blue and green or the catatonic heart rate zones. So what this looks like is if in my follicular phase, I'm doing full-on palpate burpees and I'm hitting my max heart rate, or 90 to 100%, my red zone, in 30 seconds or 30-second repeats. In my ovulation phase, I might keep doing them, but I'll do them just a little bit slower, take it down a notch, and maybe do it for 45 seconds. So it's that little bit longer. Then in the luteal phase, when our heart rates are already elevated, we'll take it down another notch and we might do a minute. And in the late luteal, premenstrual, or if you're one of those women that has an awful period in the menstrual phase, you might decide not to do burpees at all and just lie on the floor and breathe. And then as soon as you're out of the menstruation phase, then you're going hard and heavy again. Yeah? If you're going to do burpees, please get your pelvic floor checked by a women's health physio first. So cycling your heart rate training zones with your menstrual cycle have enormous benefit, and it should be easier to stick to. And it means you're not adding stress upon stress upon stress. Okay? So I hope all your hearts out there are not stressed and having a wonderful Valentine's Day. Remember to send me your questions if you want one answered, and I will see you all next week.